Morning, Super Rude Dog. Team building skills versus environment of mistrust, video number 2. This can help anybody. I don't care where you work, where you are in the equation. About 6 months ago, I started studying something called horizontal workplace violence. I hate that word violence. I don't know why they call that. They need to just say what it is. And they even go on in that article and talk about there's professional terrorists inside of organizations. And it's so extreme, I don't even want to share that information because it was like so. But I'll say what it is. Environment of mistrust, doesn't matter where you are. If you're in management and you go to meetings, and your meetings are still objective-based or purpose-driven, guess what? If you're a manager and you see this stuff, it can be turned around. If you're going to meetings and there's a bunch of huff, puff, blow, blow, we're all happy, everybody kissed the unicorn, you're in trouble. It's good. Let's hope. So if you're still going to objective-based meetings, we can start talking about this stuff, making them an objective. All right. Now for people who work at companies. We talked about environmental mistrust and what sponsors it. Telling on each other for stupid stuff. If it's safety, loss of life, or something catastrophic to the company or organization, yes, it needs to be talked about. Blatant instances of fraud, thievery, yes, it needs to be talked about. Bobby Joe come back 3 minutes late from break. Mind your own business. As a worker, you go in your office and you tell your manager that. If he sponsors that, if he's okay with that, and he's cool with that, you're in trouble. You got a bad manager. You're going down a road where that environment of mistrust is going to grow so large, you'll be a victim of your own stuff. You better watch it. I'm going to tell you what, it's a good sign, good hope for people. I seen this one time, manager like this. This dude was salty. He's retired and gone now. He's left us about 3 years ago. So I'll say his name. His name was Clanny. He was a salty old dog, too. I was sitting out one day in the break area. Clanny was sitting there, scratching on a notepad. He was already an old dude. He'd been a supervisor since the beginning of time. The guy come up and told him, Clanny, something that was something stupid. Clanny looked at him and he said, son, you have offended me for the last time. You tell on one more person, I'm going to bring that person out here. I'm going to tell them what you said about him. Not only that, I'm going to reassign you to the stuff you're telling. He's talking about how somebody couldn't do their job. And so you're going to get that job because he can't do it. Now, you remember what I said about everything you say in social footprinting, especially if you're in a dysfunctional environment or environment of mistrust, will get repeated. Went back out, that person went back into the work environment. You're going to talk about Clanny. And if you're a manager, they do talk about you, so make sure you're careful what you say. Always. Practice good discipline, especially on personnel issues. You don't ever talk about employees. Oh my God. You'll ruin your work environment. And your boss will probably tear you up. I mean, you'd be like, just you go in the office and he confronts you and he just got you. Give you the shiv. So be careful with that. Build trust with your workers. So that list goes on and on and on about the things that people do. Another key indicator. We got to learn how to identify it and work against it. Another key indicator. I tell you, we have people in our work centers and places where we work. The guru breaks all the rules. Really good at that core job, that little piece they gotta have. But a lot of jobs are detailed way beyond just that little piece. What you are, what they say you are, it goes way beyond that. That's some of the problem in the environment of mistrust. We get that manager that little bit, and then he says, "Oh, that's good." No, it's not good. A lot of managers have secondary objectives and goals. Organizations have secondary objectives and goals. Your best employees are the ones that help you work towards all of them. End of story. So the guru, the guy that apparently makes the money come, it's a learned behavior, was probably done to that person in the past. You're going to have to sit them down. It's a personal note. Don't talk about it outside of your office. You're going to sit them down, talk to them. Tell them, hey, man, long term you're hurting yourself. We're all going to lose. Because this environmental mistrust will grow, spill over into our customers' money. Our customer will see it. They'll start tearing us up. It is what it is. It's economic rules. Marketplace rules. You must perform at your top levels. One person cannot control a work center, facility, a company, or not. It doesn't work that way. Team building is how we get success. Team building is how we adjust to dynamics and changes. Workplaces are dynamic. People get sick. People leave. People move on. God help us we ever lose a guru. Never sponsor that. They got people in the office with calculators. Sit down and figure that out. You're such a guru. Let's see. If we fired him today, boop, 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 boop. Let's see. Who do we got on our team that could... Oh, we have a couple people here. Okay, we want to get somebody who really works well on the team. Okay. Well, he doesn't know that much about it, but he really tries hard. He focuses. He shares with others. We're really on the fence about this. You know what? Let's take the risk. Go out there. Yeah, I remember you. You've been reassigned. You're getting transferred or whatever. And the guy you really need, you go there. We take the risk. We take the financial risk. It's going to take them a little while. There are going to be some bumps in the road. We can't be controlled by fear. But we know in the long term or longer term, that person's going to share and work against the environment of mistrust. That's what we should do, especially when we deal with guru syndrome. Because the longer we let it sit there and propagate, that culture grows. Sorry, got to take a positive action. It is what it is. We all have people like that. Another thing I talked about, hiding information, tools, critical knowledge, business knowledge of current objectives, keeping people out of the loop. Once again, comes back on the company, hurts the company long term, gets everybody. Better watch that. And then get you, man, I don't know what happened. I tried so hard. No, you didn't try so hard. We got to understand this stuff. You're working somewhere, working in a company, drive that forward. How do I know all this? I've been working all my life. All my life. I'm a practitioner of trades. Sometimes I keep my mouth shut, just observe and learn. Very important. Now, please go back, watch my video on social footprinting. Help you so much. So once we learn how to identify this environment and these key traits that affect it, we start holding the line. My life changed. That was like 20 years ago. I saw that old salty supervisor say that to somebody. I want to know where that went. Another thing too, we must work together as a team. Doesn't matter where you are. Who wants to go to work all day, be miserable, be wondering who's getting ready to cut you across the ass next, be angry, explode, get in trouble, over and over and over again? Just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We play an economic game, and it's competitive. Your team needs to know how to play the game. It scares me. Sometimes when we're a manager and we're in an environment of mistrust, we figure out someone's not performing very well. We can reinvest. We can find something that person done. But if they're not performing very well, and they're sponsoring an environment of mistrust, causing social disturbances in the matrix, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Time to take action. Don't hide that head in the sand. That stuff will grow. Work against it. Some people say, oh God, the political correctness, I can't work against it. You know what I'm going to tell you? Most cases you're right. But I'm going to tell you this. You study and learn how to engage people, you won't ever have to deal with that. So then you got to sit down with people, find out what's going on. And sometimes you have to tell the truth about the business objectives and what you want to see and what you want to see for that person. If a person comes and works at a company and they're in the same spot for 30 years and it wasn't by choice, and they're just disgruntled and don't understand why they can't move on, get promoted or whatever, you might have to sit down and tell them, well, it might be you, and here's why. One of the ways to engage people, not offend them, start asking them questions. Because if you've seen or peered into, this is manager stuff, peered into that person and seen the obvious observations, ask it in a question, you know. Well, do you follow protocol? Do you help others in the environment, build team? Do you understand your footprint in the work center? Ask them stuff. Just get them to reflect. Don't tell them. Don't be aggressive. So, because if you have someone you know they're going to be aggressive and they're going to run over and get this person or get a union or get a EO rep or get a HR rep, you already know they're going to do that. You just got to find a different way to engage. Hopefully they'll see the light. Long term. I had a person one time, this wasn't too long ago. Oh man, stuck here forever. Not going to go nowhere. Yep, sure are. That's only half true. You're not going to go nowhere because you believe you're stuck here forever. What do you mean? Your belief of being stuck here forever is keeping you from performing at your top levels. You don't, once again, it reflects back on who you are in the work environment and social footprinting. This environment of mistrust, and it's crept into workplaces all over the United States. I watched it happen. I study this kind of stuff. I'm not an expert. I'm not degreed. I don't have more PhDs than girlfriends. It doesn't matter. I'm a practitioner. I see it. I observe it. And my stuff is free anyway. You can go to one of these seminars with one of these so-called experts for companies, and people pay $10,000, and they go in there, and it's a bunch of huff puff, and people don't come back with anything. And it takes positive action to move things. That's all I got for environment of mistrust. Determine where you are in there and try to make a positive change. Handle yourself correctly, sponsor your team, make your company survive. Work environment, wherever, military, doesn't matter. Wherever you're working, work against that. It's out there. Read up on the environment of mistrust, dysfunctional workplaces. I just saw a crippling statistic about a week ago. Disproportionate amount of people are being fired and screwed over environment of mistrust. They don't understand, their management don't understand. There's people in workplaces causing great problems and they're getting away with it. You got to identify it, work against it. You got to get proactive. It is what it is. Thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.